Cool. Okay, so for those of you
And
tuning in just now, or if you're watching it on YouTube, um, I totally messed up. I actually did the whole entire presentation, and forgot to broadcast it, so I'm doing it a second time. So, um, hooray for people who stuck around. Okay, so in order to come up with this group, I had to come up with a question, which is why do AMBW or AMXF groups fail? AMXF means Asian male, non-Asian female, and for the sake of brevity, I will be referring it as AMXF. Now, when I look at these groups, I realize that there are a lot of key problems. And the thing is, when you look back at these groups, you feel that there's just a lot of negative experiences. And me being someone who actually spent a lot of time in those groups, I can feel the exact same way. I know exactly how you feel.
hi, the picture.
Now, the first main problem is the fact that there's just way too much drama.
Okay.
And when you go ahead and
Just now,
go to
or
these
watching
pages,
on YouTube.
whoop, someone talking. Um, the first issue is that you go to the comment section, people are always trolling each other. They're always arguing and fighting. And even worse is the fact that admins don't do anything. They don't do anything to curtail it or address the people who are sort of raking up shit. Now, the second issue is the fact that there's way too much thirst. A little bit too much for my taste. And you can see this manifest in, of course, the Thirsty Thursday posts. So you'll see pictures of people, doing selfies of, hey, I'm looking for a Korean boyfriend, blah, 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 blah. Or you'll see an Asian guy who'll say, hey, I want to hook up with someone, anybody want to have a good time? And it makes it seem really grimy, like it's the personal section from Craigslist, which, of course, I do not want. And then the last issue is the fact that there's a lot of poor collaboration. And this is actually a problem that exists within a lot of the groups as a whole. Now you can see this experiment by going into the search bar and typing in either Asian men or Asian guy. Now if you type in Asian men, you'll see that it says Asian men, Black women unite, Asian men, Black women unite revamped, Asian men that adore and respect ebony women, which I guess. Um, and then you'll have, when you search Asian guy, you'll have another set. Asian guys and Caucasian girls, Asian guys and white girls, Asian guys and... And when you collect all of these groups, I mean, there's like 60 different groups or something. And you would think that if every group has the common element of them being attracted to Asian guys, then why don't they all just join one group? Beats me. But for the sake of annoying you guys and for the sake of blowing your mind, I actually picked out 3 of the worst. Just so you can see what I'm talking about. This one's called Polish Girl and Asian Guy, which is ridiculously specific, and I'm curious to know, is it like one Polish girl or is it all Polish girls? Whatever. This one over here, which is Asian guys with perfect tens. Now, when you go on the group, it's nothing but reposted images of Asian guys at the club with either Asian girls or white girls, and that's about it. Now, the worst of the worst is easily white women who love Oriental Asian men. Now, when I read it, I had to just like sit there for a minute and collect myself because I don't think anybody should be saying Oriental unless you are a history professor who's talking about ancient Asian military, then you should not be saying Oriental. And plus, Oriental Asian is a little redundant. It's like saying white Caucasian. But, of course, the silver lining, the only benefit of me doing this whole thing was the fact that I found this. Oh my god, this is the best thing ever. It's called Confused Asian Guy. It's actually just a page, but you remember that confused black girl meme? where like people photoshopped it and she's like in the shower or whatever. This is the Asian guy version. Oh, amazing! They have like the funniest memes ever. And I'm gonna have to use that, and I'm I'm actually gonna have to repost that and use that as my reactions on comments from now on. Okay, so these are sort of the festering problems within a lot of these AMXF groups. And so I was posed with the question, how do you fix this? What exactly is the solution? And the solution is a matter of perspective. This is how an average group looks like. You see here up on the top, you see the members. It's sort of a banner. It's like a, hey, welcome, this is the page. Then you have this pinned post. The pinned post is essentially a featured post or a welcoming screen. And then you have this, which is the recent post. This is essentially the news feed. So all the articles and posts will go over here. But then I realized if you look at that, that seems vaguely similar to the layout and the structure of this. You see at the top, you have a welcoming screen, the title page, you have a featured post, you have the feed of articles coming in. And when you look at it side by side, you can really tell the differences. Up at top over here, top page, over here, the pinned post, the news feed, the news feed. Similar, right? So why not structure one of those groups kind of like a news site? And that is where I have my idea. I'd like to introduce to you Project Cream and Crop. Now, the title, Cream and Crop, this is just something I came up with right away. We can change it, so don't worry about it. If you hate it, you hate it. Trust me, I'm not that big of a fan. I just had to come up with something. Now, here is how the structure of the group will work. All right, so this is very important. Sort of a look at how everything's going to look like. Before, the way that groups worked was that you had hundreds of members, thousands of members, and they all had the ability to post, to write, to comment, to like, and that would oversaturate the news feed. So you would have tons and tons of shit being posted. And what ends up happening is that you have a handful of ideas, maybe 50 different posts, but only 3 of them are of decent quality, whereas the rest of them are selfies or, hey, this is a cute dog picture that I found or whatever, and it just doesn't belong on that page, at least for me. And I think it's just a waste of space. Now, for Cream and Crop, the structure is going to work like this. Here it is. These are your admins, which we'll be calling them the editors. I will go ahead and grab out a select few of admins, and each particular admin will be responsible for writing for a specific category. So one admin will write about dating tips, another one will do K-pop, maybe 2 of them will repost pictures of Asian guys, another few will do racism and rants. And here's the thing, I'm going to limit the privacy so only the editors can post. Nobody else can post. Now here is the benefit of doing that. Because only the editors can post, we can make sure that the quality of the post overshadows any of the the quantity of some of the other groups. So as opposed to having 100 posts on the newsfeed every single day, you'll have 12 or you'll have 20, but they'll be of much better quality because they're not going to be Thirsty Thursday posts. They're not going to be some do Asian guys like black girls? Asked like 50 million times, which usually happens in those groups. Now, who will be the editors? I will pick out, or maybe if you guys are interested, you can contact me, but we'll go ahead and pick out people who have some experience in writing or blogging, or maybe they had a page. So one person, they could have owned a page for 7 months, or another person could be a K-pop blogger. Hey, they could even be a weeaboo, and you know how I feel about them. But if you know your shit, then hey, you can weeaboo as much as you want, as long as you're doing your category. And then you can have someone who does ethnic studies. Maybe they don't even write anything, but they just have really good opinions, and I really value the things that they've said in comments or whatnot. And then you take all this content. So you'll have these 12 or 20 articles every single day or week or whatever, and then that will all go to you. Okay? So it's a much more streamlined, a much more simple process. So you don't have to worry about digging through the feed to figure out what any of the good posts are. Now, an alternative will be if you have a smaller staff, like if we just start out, maybe one person will do dating tips and maybe another person will take on 2 categories, or maybe 2 people will team up and do 2 categories of their own or whatever. We'll figure out who the editors are, and we'll also figure out and establish what the categories are. So these might not necessarily be the categories that we'll specifically have set in stone. We might add some, subtract them, whatever. All right? And of course, all that will go to you. Now, you're probably wondering, how as a user is my experience going to be like? What's it going to be like when I actually join the group? So this will happen. You log on to Facebook, you'll go to the group, and you'll see at the top, oh my God, this is an Asian Hottie of the Day post. Rainier posts the best captions. Oh, they're so funny. I know that he does that post, and only he does that post. So you'll start to recognize and familiarize yourself with those particular admins, because those are the ones who write about that particular subject. So Rainier does these posts. You go down and you say, oh, hey, Stephanie writes about racism and sexism rants. That is her beat. If I'm interested in that topic, I look for her name because she will be the one writing that. You'll scroll down even further. Oh my God, David is always reposting pictures of interracial couples. I'll look out for David. And so it'll be easier for you guys to sort of sort through. If you only want to look at pictures of the couples, then you'll look for David's post. If you don't, then you'll look for Rainier's post, and so on. Now, for people who are interested in being an editor or an admin, you're probably wondering also, how does that work? Now here's an example. This is a screenshot that I grabbed from a group, a K-pop group. So say, for example, Brianna. I recruit Brianna to be our K-pop representative. She'll be the one who only writes about K-pop. Maybe she has another category, but she is specializing in that. She only has to write about that. She'll be in charge of grabbing the pictures. She'll be in charge of getting all the links and whatnot. And I do want to stress that. I want to make sure that all editors post pictures to everything, they post links or something. So that way it's not like, a sentence and it just looks kind of boring. It doesn't, actually, it really just doesn't provide much engagement for the actual audience. But here is the thing. Because Brianna did that post, she is held accountable for how things work out in the comment section. So when Brianna goes in and she writes her K-pop article, she needs to make sure that everyone in the comment section is in line. If someone is racist, if someone is sexist, if someone is just being an asshole, she needs to go ahead and address it. She needs to say, hey, stop it, or you're getting kicked out, okay? So big rule, no racism, no sexism, no being an asshole. If you're being a troll, you get kicked out. Maybe if Brianna isn't, noticing certain things, you guys can come up to me or whoever, any of the admins, we'll take a look at it. Or even for myself, for anybody who is on my page, you know that I'm really strict about some of the shit that people say. So if someone's out of line, I'll let them know and I'll kick them out. All right? So, a recap. These are the 3 issues that we are facing. There's too much drama in the existing groups, there's too much thirst, and there's way too many of these groups. And they'll be fixed by, instead of having all that drama, we'll have editors regulate. So I'm not going to let people just, walk around and just post whatever they want. If you're saying something out of line, you will get cut. If, the issue of people being thirsty, it's going to be non-existent. You are not going to see that at all because only the editors can post. All right? Now, of course, maybe we might have a section that might be like featured member of the day or featured member of the week, but it'll be with a purpose. So it'll be like a backstory, and we'll actually market you and sell you properly. All right? So that way, at least, it's not like a picture of your ass or whatever. And the issue of having too many groups, that will be fixed because we'll hopefully have enough categories that will interest enough people. So instead of having a group for Asian guys and white girls and Asian girls, Asian guys and black girls and Asian guys and black girls who are interested in anime, you guys can have your own section. All right. Now you're probably asking yourself now, why would you even go through the trouble of doing this? And the truth is, over 3 years ago, an AMBW group is where I met my girlfriend. That's where I met Livy, and it's sort of bittersweet. I really enjoy the fact that there was that resource available for us, but it's unfortunate because when I look back at it, I don't even understand how anybody can meet each other because there's just way too much shit going on. And I wish that something like that existed for people now. I wish it was like in the good old days. But really, it's just a matter of realizing that we are all people who share a common interest, and we need a community, something that's better than what we have available now. And I'm upset at myself that we don't have that. But of course, at the core, the most important thing out of all is, of course, our undying love for Kane Ha Uncle Sumabat. So, thank you everybody for watching. I am going ahead and I'm going to open up the floor for any questions. So, hold on just a second. Whoop. Well, let me.
Oh, before I go, I just want to say if you need anybody for K-pop,
Oh, yeah.
I bet you've had like 1 trillion volunteers just for that one. Same here.
Oh yeah, I mean, if anybody is really interested in doing that, and again, you can have multiple editors for that particular category. So if there's 3 of you that want to team up, then go ahead and go for it. Of course, I'm going to try to trim it down, so I'm not going to have like 15 people talking about the same thing. We'll try to keep it pretty lean. But yeah, if you're interested, let me know. Show me some stuff, and if you write about it, then show me your blog or whatever.
I'm more of like what you do on Facebook because I'm part of a really big group for K-pop on Facebook already. So, and I own side groups from that group. So I'm used to more of like, I don't have an actual blog. I mean, I have a Tumblr where I post like funny memes and stuff that I make, but like I'm more of the person who posts everything on Facebook, like with pictures and news articles and like the whole 9 yards that way instead of like on a blog. But
okay, no, and that's perfectly fine. So for example, is someone like you who might not have a conventional blog, but you do write on groups and pages and whatnot. Just let me know. Just say, hey, I write about this. This is my angle. Definitely let me know. So if you guys are interested, let me know what your particular angle is. And what I mean is, if you're going to write about K-pop, is there going to be a particular focus? Like, oh, I'll write about K-pop news. Like, oh, what's new going on in the K-pop world? I know nothing about K-pop, by the way. Or you might say K-pop drama or gossip or whatever. Yeah, so just let me know what particular thing you're interested within that category.
All right.
Anybody else? Any questions at all?
The whole Prezi sounded awesome. So.
Oh, cool.
Happy I got to hear it.
And Jasmine, did you have any questions?
Oh, me? I only saw half of it. I'm hoping it's recording and you'll post it somewhere else. But it looks pretty good.
Yeah, it's actually posted. It'll be posted onto YouTube. So once I stop the broadcast, you guys can go ahead and grab the link and take a look at it. All right?
Cool. Yep.
All right. And our last person, Sydney, who saw the double feature. Do you have any questions?
No, I think it's a good idea to kind of have just people moderating the page rather than just kind of having a free-for-all, because even though there are really good people in these groups, it can get really drowned out by a lot of the riffraff, so to speak. So, I think having it moderated and having just only certain people post things and letting people kind of discuss those topics is a lot better. And then we won't get all the crazy, like, I love, like, Asian men who, like, anime, and they're so cute with their eyes, and it's just like, oh, it's weird. So, yeah, I think it's good.
Yeah, so I mean, hopefully, after I post this video up, and hopefully, if I gain enough interest, if people want to help me out, because the only thing that I really need at this point are the editors. Once the editors come in, and once you guys are interested in posting, we'll start right away. I'll go ahead and register the group. I might do another post on my page, so keep in mind for anyone who's watching, if you're interested in having the discussion with me about what we want to name the group. Because what I don't want to do is I don't want to do what a lot of groups do, which is they create the group and then they change the name and they change the name again, and then it's like I feel like it's too indecisive. I want to just come up with a name that works. Which, by the way, I don't want to have like my personal pet peeve is there are so many like Asian-based websites and whatnot, and they all have like Asian puns or whatever, like, yellow fever or whatever. So I don't want to have a name like that. I want it to be simple and
understandable.
Right? Okay. Well, I'm going to go ahead and stop the broadcast. I'm going to go ahead and post on the page right now a Q&A. So if anybody who's watching right now, if you guys have any questions, I'll meet you guys down over there, okay?
All right. See you later.
Right. Good night.
Night.
Good night.